Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is part 2 of the collaboration that I had with Tony on bringing his servers down to the basement and hosting them for him. We went through ebbs and flows such as life, ups and downs of emotion, of working, not working, broken, not broken, we don't know what's going on, okay, this works, this doesn't. Anyways, as it is with mining and building your own servers, there's always things that you can't foresee happening. It's not just click, 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 okay, everything works. Anyways, we went through it all, and in fact, he ended up having to leave here before everything was done. So I carried on the rest of the troubleshooting, and we got things working to a T. So I hope you enjoy it. Coming up, I have my first 2 sponsored videos that we're going to be reviewing a couple of network switches and patch panels. So that's really cool that we have a sponsored video for the first time. That's awesome. That's up to you guys because you guys are watching. So that's really cool. And the other thing is we have a whole bunch of thermodynamic videos that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I've already gone through it in one of my videos, but didn't get a lot of views. So I'm going to try and cater it towards more the audience that needs to know how to deal with all of this 100-degree weather and mining. So anyways, stay tuned. This is part 2. I love the outcome. This is so cool. And he might even be bringing in more servers to host down there, which would be awesome. That would be so cool. Anyways, hope you enjoy it, guys. Stick around for the sponsored stuff coming up next week, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, things are coming along. We've got everything measured out. We've got the front fans in, the I/O connected, the power supply connected, the new CPU cooler connected. Really cool. We've got the back 120mm fan. We've got the 80mm fans here, and we're also going to be installing a row of 80mm fans here. Tony's currently out buying a fan splitter for each one of these cases. So basically what I'm going to be doing is before we start fastening in the A2000s, we're going to be getting the new case ready because we have 3 cases total. So this one's also done. This is a smaller case, but it'll still work for the A2000s. We did the measurements and they should work. And as well, this will have the fit 80mm fans on it as well. So we're almost at the finish line, but just got to do everything that we just did to this server too. Alright, so we have a brand new case here that's never been used. Essentially what we have to do is the exact same thing that we've done with all the other cases up to this point, which is remove the front hard drive cages, flip around the fans, flip around the front I/O, and then start to populate it with the new hardware. While we were doing this, we realized that one of our 850 watt power supplies wasn't quite as powerful as we needed. So we were going to have to go buy another power supply, and due to the time, it was nearing the time when everything was closing, so we really had to rush and try and get to a place that actually had power supplies, which was a lot harder than you would think. We ended up having to go down to Ottawa and grab one right at the last minute. So
alright guys, we're currently speeding to Memory Express so that we can pick up the last power supply before it closes.
Yeah, we expected to have a 850 watt power supply, but it wasn't so, and we've got about a minute of like leeway. Google says we're going to arrive at 5:51. It closes at 6, so here's hoping. Fingers crossed.
We weren't able to confirm that the store opens until 6, so we'll have to check when we get there.
It's all right. We're making this happen. It's happening today. It's all going to get done today.
Yeah.
All 24 cards.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's go. So, how are you thinking it's going so far?
Well, it's great. Like I think, I had these cards essentially unopened in the box. I couldn't figure out what to do with it, like from a space and power perspective, and I just didn't want to have all these like open air like rigs like lying around.
At the light, turn left onto the Samuel de Champlain.
And yeah, like it's been good to just start working on these server cases because I think they're a lot more efficient build from a cooling perspective, and potentially in the future, like a noise perspective as well, right? So
Yeah. And how long have you had these server cases for?
I bought them like 2 months ago. Actually, I watched your video on the server cases as well as Red Pandas, and
Oh,
that was why I started buying these Roosevelt cases to do myself. And once I started doing it, like I realized I had to like drill some holes for like the fans and stuff, and I just thought like,
Turn right onto
I'd,
place Samuel D. Champlain.
spend a day just working with you on doing it. So
yeah, definitely preparing the cases for it is like the longest part. Tossing in the components is the easiest thing, but like getting the case prepared for the proper airflow is like, it takes a while, unfortunately. So,
yeah.
but we're done all of that, and we're now at the point where we're almost ready to start plugging in the graphics cards. No, this is awesome, man. I love this stuff. This is what it's all about, guys. Geeking out.
Yeah.
Nice. It's open. Hallelujah. We made it. All right. Power supplies. All right. We made it. We got the power supply.
Just in time, 1,000
Yeah.
watts.
Memory Express is hooking us up. On sale too.
Special discount.
Yeah, for custom computing only. All right, now that we have the power supply, we can finish the third server. Here we are just test fitting the sizes of the A2000s. Originally, I wanted to have them facing out the back because they're blower style design, so all the heat comes through it and then pushes out the back. But unfortunately, due to the limitation of the USB cables, they weren't long enough to be able to reach the back of those. So we had to switch all the fans in the case to basically be pulling the air from the back through to the front. So the front facing fans are actually pushing out of the front, and the back facing fans are pushing through the case. So there is a little bit of a limitation as to how much air we were going to be able to bring into the case, because we're limited to one 120 millimeter and two 80 millimeter fans bringing the fresh air into the case, as opposed to three 120 millimeter fans. This ended up not being a huge issue, so we were able to get all 8 cards in there and they all booted up. We did run into some problems where HiveOS was reading malfunction on the cards, so we had to do a lot of troubleshooting on this one, and we ended up just forgetting it for the time being.
9:12.
Oh my god, hey.
We are two men that are not quite defeated, but we needed a break. And we got some delicious chicken. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. So we have one computer that's pseudo running. After all this time, we spent a lot of time on the rails. Yeah. We wasted too much time on the rails only to find out that we couldn't even use them. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was fun cutting it though. It was interesting. It was the first time experience for me.
Exactly. And cutting metal with raw, like sheer strength.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go. So we at least learned something new. Anyways, we're gonna scarf this down and then tackle hopefully the second computer. We'll boot up and we'll finish off the third computer. Then we can get back to the first troubled computer. So hopefully no more bumps and bruises. All right. Wish us luck. Nice. We did it!
Yes, let's do it.
We got one computer working. Look at this nonsense. 1 out of 3. We just got 8 graphics cards working on this one. And we're going to clean it up, put in the fans, basically get it for production ready. Everything done on this one, then we're going to start troubleshooting the other ones. It's fucking late. We've been doing this all day. So little victories mean a lot right now.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks great.
All right, so this wasn't the best cable management, but we've been doing this all day, so it was a little bit lackluster. Also, the EVGA cables are really thick, so it's really hard to kind of bunch them up in a section that you can kind of tuck away. So this is all set. We've got a 120 millimeter fan here at the back, two 80 millimeter fans, and then we've got four 80 millimeter fans in the middle attached to the fan controller that we have we bought today. And then we've got the 8 A2000s that we're showing before we started this cable management, and then the three 120 millimeter fans in the front. I think we're gonna bring it down and plug it in, check the BIOS settings, and holy shit, we might have one working computer.
So proud of this, man. This looks really good. This is awesome.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
he's still in high spirits, folks.
Yeah,
we've
great.
been punched down a little bit, but we're still standing. Here we go. It is 3:30 in the morning. I had to dismantle this entire thing and re-put in one by one, upgrade the BIOS. We could not keep it at 8 for some reason. And now it's 3:30 in the morning and I finally have it all working. Finally all working. Now you'll notice that the design of this, I've had to switch the airflow of the A2000s. So we'll go over that in another video because it's 3:30 in the morning, but it's up and running. I'm gonna toss it in the rack, put the lid on, and let him deal with it. It's awesome. All right, we are finally getting some progress here. I updated the BIOS on this one as well. We've got all the fans in, we've got all the cards registered. They're locked down, so they're not moving. The cable management is meh, but we're gonna toss in a fan at the back there, and then we're gonna do some modifications to that server there. We have to start naming these. I can't just say that server. They all have to have names. So anyways, we're gonna be pulling that one out as well, fixing it up, and then we'll have two in there, and we'll get the third one. Hopefully we can get the third one working. Okay, so here's the last server that we're building. You can tell that the A2000s are pushing air this way. All the fans are facing out the front of the case. All the mid-plate fans are pushing this way, and obviously the CPU fan and the back fans are all coming through here. So we have to have it in a configuration where basically we're sucking the cold air in there and shooting it out the back, which is going up and out of the room. We tried to flip them around, but the USB cables are just not long enough to be able to reach from there to here. You would think that they would, but these cards, basically 3 cards out, you couldn't reach. So we just said, all right, we'll amend it, we'll flip it around, and we'll have all the hot air coming out the front. And in order for that to work in my setup, we have to do it, the hot air has to be shooting out the back in order to get captured by the hood fan. So, all right, we're almost done. This has been a long excursion and really educational. So anyways, let me show you the final picture. All right, here we are. This is the final picture of his servers. We've got Penny here. You have to watch the new Top Gun movies. We've got Penny, she's the smaller one. She also has a fan on top that's drawing air in because she's a smaller, shorter chassis. We then have Hangman, who's also in the second movie, Maverick. And then we have Rooster, who is also a huge part of the second movie, Maverick. So we've got the 120 millimeter fans pushing air through. We've got the two 80 millimeter fans pushing the air through. On this particular one, we have an extra 120 millimeter fan bringing in colder air here. And then it all goes out back as per usual, out and out of the room, which is excellent. I will be adding another exhaust just because he's going to be potentially adding another 3 servers. So I think I'm gonna add some more exhaust there.
The only thing that I don't like about this configuration, which we had to make sacrifices due to the blower air configuration of the A2000s, is the power supplies are blowing hot air out into the room, which I don't like having any hot air coming into the room because it's heating this room up for no reason. The other thing is that hot air is getting sucked back in by the the 80 millimeter fans, as well as the amount of air that's getting pushed into the case. Typically would be 3 120 millimeter fans, but in this case we have two 80s and 120, so it's not as much airflow going through. We also have the issue of the hot air coming out and then recycling in. So those are the only things that I would change about this, but unfortunately, because of the blower style of the A2000s, this is the only way we could do it in a Roseville case. All the temps, however, are fine. They all work great, so I'm happy with that. And it would be really cool if I was able to host another 3 of his servers on top. Basically just move this one to the very top, cut that plank off, add another exhaust fan here to an 8-inch fan over there, move the 6-inch spare to here, and then I would have 2 active 8-inch fans coming out of this system, and the air conditioning unit pumping into here, which is cooling the air. So yeah, this was such a cool project. It doubled the size of the amount of GPUs I have, and if he gives me another 24 GPUs, we're just tripling the size of what I used to have. So this room is seeing max capacity. We don't have to get any more power yet. However, if he wants to bring in octominers and stuff, then I will have to get more power, but that'll be for another day. For now, just enjoy this beauty right here.